Tonight we have breaking news as we come on the air. Severe storms slamming New York City in the Northeast. The flooding emergencies playing out. Drivers rescued from their cars. The states of emergency at this hour, and tonight the images coming in here. Up to 3 inches per hour from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia to New York. Major highways in the New York City area flooded. Water rescues underway. More than 1,500 flights canceled. More storms coming tonight. Lee Goldberg is here. Also tonight, severe turbulence rocking a Delta passenger jet. Passengers and food carts hitting the cabin ceiling. 25 passengers and crew rushed to the hospital. Tonight, the shocking arrest. You'll see the pictures just in here. A mother and father killed on a hiking trail. Their 2 young daughters right there. Tonight, a 28-year-old teacher is now under arrest at what we've just learned. In New York City, the chilling survivor story tonight from inside that deadly rampage in that Park Avenue high-rise office building. As the shooter was coming toward a worker with that long gun, she says she threw her arms in the air and said, "I'm the cleaning lady." He opened fire, and how she got away. The alarming images just in tonight, the attempted abduction of a toddler at a shopping mall. Why authorities want the public to see this video and what they're now saying about it. Tonight, 24 hours after President Trump made that claim that Jeffrey Epstein stole young women who worked at his Mar-a-Lago resort from the spa, Virginia Giuffre, who said she worked at Mar-a-Lago, her family now speaking out, telling the president not to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Overseas tonight, the dire humanitarian crisis playing out in Gaza. Hundreds of Palestinians risking their lives for food. Ian Panel off the Gaza border. Tonight, back here at home, the fighter jet bursting into flames and crashing. Tonight, medical records revealing Hulk Hogan's cause of death now. And tonight, we learn of a personal battle he was facing for quite some time. Tonight, singer and actor Justin Timberlake revealing he's battling a debilitating disease, what Timberlake is now sharing. And the lightning bolt hitting the U.S., stretching 515 miles. That lightning bolt hitting 3 states at once.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a Thursday night. And we begin tonight with the states of emergency in the Northeast at this hour as severe thunderstorms and flash flooding slam New York City, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., New York, and New Jersey tonight, declaring emergencies. Drivers rescued from their cars on expressways. The rain falling at a rate of up to 3 inches an hour, flooding sweeping streets and highways, rivers and creeks rising quickly, storm drains unable to keep up. Time-lapse video tonight showing the dark storm clouds moving in over New York City. Heavy rain and severe flooding north of Baltimore, rescuers freeing 2 people trapped in a car there. Major highways flooded across the New York City metro area, drivers taken by surprise. This is the Clearview Expressway in Queens. And tonight, ground stops at airports across the region. More than 1,500 flights already canceled so far. Meteorologist Lee Goldberg standing by with the forecast. More storms and heavy rain coming tonight. And ABC's Morgan Norwood with the images late today. Morgan leading us off tonight.
Tonight, major New York City expressways swamped. Drivers stranded in high water as torrential rains wreak havoc across the Northeast. On the Clearview Expressway in Queens, rescue teams working to get drivers out of vehicles. A tractor trailer also stranded. Bystanders stunned.
10 feet deep with cars in it and people sitting on top of cars. And I would guess that within an hour we got 3 inches.
And this was the aftermath. You can see that vehicle with all 4 doors open. The expressway shut in both directions for hours. New York and New Jersey hit hard from floods just weeks ago that inundated subways and neighborhoods, both declaring states of emergency ahead of the storms. The storms also hitting Northeast airports hard. More than 1,500 flights in and out of the U.S. canceled.
And David, you can see the chaos that this rain left behind. Traffic steadily building here at the Lincoln Tunnel. But look, it is not over. More storms are expected to roll through tonight, with some areas, David, looking at up to a half a foot of rain.
Yeah, we know that traffic at the Lincoln Tunnel very well. Morgan Norwood leading us off. Morgan, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg of our New York station, WABC. He's been on the air all afternoon. And Lee, this isn't over yet.
Far from it, David, especially from Atlantic City to Baltimore, where through the brunt in New York City we'll still have some moderate showers. It's been a dual threat. Flash flooding, severe weather. We had tornado warnings across parts of New Jersey and into Maryland. Still flash flood warnings in New York City down to Baltimore. We time this and we see the heaviest rains begin to shift offshore, thankfully, during the evening hours. But there'll still be some moderate showers that could aggravate flooding, even all the way up to New England, but still some heavy rains in the mid-Atlantic as well. There's still that high flood risk, especially in the southern part of that red area down toward the Delmarva. It certainly has knocked down the heat. New York City will struggle to reach to 70 degrees tomorrow. That relief is going to go all the way down to Memphis and Raleigh, but not to the Gulf Coast. For now, though, our concern, the I-95 corridor. David?
We'll take the relief. We just have to get through these next few hours. Lee, thank you. Now to the severe turbulence rocking a Delta passenger jet out of Salt Lake City. Passengers and food carts hitting the cabin ceiling. The flight was diverting to Minneapolis. 25 passengers and crew then rushed to the hospital. Here's ABC's Mola Lenghi.
Tonight, frightening moments at 37,000 feet. A Delta plane rocked by significant turbulence. Passengers sent flying out of their seats. A ceiling panel dislodged. First responders assessing people on the plane. 25 taken to the hospital.
The plane rose rapidly and then did somewhat of a nosedive very rapidly down.
We thought we were going down, so I'm, still shaken about it, It was very scary.
The flight heading from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam Wednesday evening when it hit turbulence over Wyoming. Radar showing storms in the area. In-flight food service just underway.
If you didn't have your seatbelt on, they hit the ceiling and then they fell to the ground. And the carts also hit the ceiling and fell to the ground.
The 288 passengers and crew diverted to Minneapolis' airport, where the airline says medical personnel met the flight upon arrival.
They have the emergency vehicle standing by.
The airplane can take a lot more than we can. It's not going to come apart. But when you get into heavy turbulence, you are actually, as a passenger, your best friend when it comes to avoiding injury. When you're seated, don't let that seatbelt just sit there. Use it.
Well, David, Delta says all 25 passengers and crew members are out of the hospital tonight, and the NTSB and the FAA are investigating this incident, David.
Mola Lenghi with us again tonight. Mola, thank you. Just in tonight, the shocking arrest after a mother and father were killed on a hiking trail. Their 2 young daughters were right there. Now a 28-year-old teacher is under arrest tonight. Officers arresting him as he was getting a haircut, and you'll see it. Here's our Chief Justice Correspondent, Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, a stunning arrest in the murders of a couple hiking with their 2 children in northwest Arkansas. 28-year-old Andrew McGann, a school teacher who taught 5th grade and recently moved to the state to begin a new teaching position, now behind bars, charged with 2 counts of capital murder in an attack that police say appears to be completely random.
The suspect indicated that he did commit these murders.
McGann arrested overnight at this barbershop as he got a haircut about 30 miles from Devil's Den State Park, where Clinton and Christian Brink were murdered on Saturday. And tonight, those heartbreaking new details about how the couple fought to protect their 7- and 9-year-old daughters, as police say McGann started to stab them repeatedly with a knife. According to police, the girl's father was attacked first, his wife rushing the children to safety before returning to help her husband.
They absolutely protected those girls to their fullest extent, to the point that it cost them their lives. We're in awe of this mom and dad.
Police say the children later provided a description of the suspect and that the killer was injured at the scene, leaving behind blood and DNA that was a match to McGann.
DNA that was recovered at the initial crime scene matched his DNA.
There's no known connection between McGann and the Brinks, officials say, but they suspect the murders were premeditated because the killer had covered his license plate with duct tape to hide his identity. Tonight, the critical question: why did the suspect allegedly target a couple that he did not know? David?
Horrific story. Pierre Thomas tonight. Pierre, thank you. This evening in New York City, the remarkable survivor story. The worker who came face to face with that gunman who went on a deadly rampage in that Park Avenue high-rise office building. That worker said she put her hands in the air and what she then said to him. How she survived this. And here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight, the Park Avenue office cleaner who stared down the barrel of the shooter's assault rifle and survived. She put her hands in the air. "I'm a cleaning lady. I'm a cleaning lady," Sabia Nelovich said she shouted as gunfire erupted around her. She was collecting garbage Monday evening on the 33rd floor of 345 Park Avenue, where she has worked for 27 years. She says she heard what sounded like firecrackers. rounded the corner to see the glass door in front of the reception desk shake and shatter. This guy came in the middle of the door and pointed his gun at me. He started shooting around me. Nelovich ran down the hall, hid in a closet, and started praying. She says she heard shouting, then footsteps. The gunman, Shane Tamura, was moving toward her, firing at the closet door. Then that worker says she thought of Julia Hyman, the young woman working late, still at her desk. I thought, God help her. Julia Hyman's funeral was yesterday. Wesley LePatner's was today.
My mom was like my rock. If something happened, I would talk to her, and I couldn't talk to anyone else. Nothing else would make it better.
And so was the funeral for Officer Didarul Islam, his pregnant wife, 2 sons, and other family members following behind his flag-draped casket in the Bronx, where he lived and served. Each day since the shooting, David, that office cleaner says she's only been getting more stressed, more shaken. She was never scared at work. Now she says she does not want to go back. David?
Well, that is entirely understandable. Aaron, thank you. Now to the Jeffrey Epstein case, 24 hours after President Trump made that claim that Jeffrey Epstein, quote, stole young women who worked at his Mar-a-Lago resort from Trump's spa. Virginia Giuffre's family responding. Giuffre had said she worked at Mar-a-Lago in the spa, and her family now telling the president not to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Here's Rachel Scott.
24 hours after President Trump's remarkable new claim that Jeffrey Epstein stole young women who worked at his Mar-a-Lago resort, an anguished response from the family of one of those women, Virginia Giuffre. Giuffre claimed she was approached at Mar-a-Lago in 2000 by Epstein's companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, who then sex trafficked her to Epstein.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand.
This week, Trump said Giuffre was one of several employees Epstein stole from him.
I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people. Yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
Giuffre's family calling it shocking to hear Trump say that he was aware that Virginia had been stolen from Mar-a-Lago. It makes us ask if he was aware of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal actions. They also pointed to what Trump told New York Magazine in 2002, 2 years after Giuffre was allegedly trafficked to Epstein. Trump praising Epstein, telling the magazine, "It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Today, I asked the president.
You said that Jeffrey Epstein stole people from Mar-a-Lago. At the time, did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia, who was just 16 at the time?
I would figure it was ABC fake news that would ask that question, one of the worst. But no, I don't know really why. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out.
Giuffre died by suicide earlier this year, and Maxwell has always denied her accusations, calling her, quote, a fabulist. Maxwell is now serving 20 years behind bars for sex trafficking. Last week, she spent 9 hours meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who was President Trump's personal lawyer. The president has not ruled out pardoning her.
Well, I'm allowed to give her a pardon, but nobody's approached me with it.
But tonight, the family of Virginia Giuffre calling Maxwell a monster and a predator who destroyed the lives of girls and young women without conscience, saying she deserves to rot in prison for the rest of her life.
And David, it was just 1 week ago that Maxwell sat down with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. The administration still has not released any details on what was said. David.
Rachel Scott at the White House for us. Rachel, thank you. Overseas tonight, the dire humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Hundreds of Palestinians risking their lives for food now, and why mountains of aid are just sitting there, unable to be given out. Here's our chief foreign correspondent, Ian Pannell, inside Gaza tonight.
Tonight, we go inside Gaza with the IDF to see the aid piling up as Palestinians starve and children go hungry.
This is the moment that we crossed from Israel into Gaza.
We were taken to a massive aid depot. Israel saying there's enough food here to feed all of Gaza for more than a week, but much of it going nowhere.
There are mountains and mountains of aid here waiting to be delivered to the desperate people inside Gaza. Literally just a few hundred yards down that road. Here we have sacks of fortified flour to make bread that people desperately need.
Why isn't the aid being held there by Israel getting into the mouths of the hungry?
Once it's in the Gazan side, it's up to the international community to pick it up and distribute it, and we haven't seen that happen in a fast enough pace.
But the UN rejecting this, blaming Israel, saying they can't deliver the aid safely, and this is what they're up against. Hundreds of Palestinians desperate for food, met by gunfire.
It's kids, it's children.
Bullets hitting the ground just feet away. UN aid workers saying Israeli troops opened fire. Don't do this. Undeterred, the crowd suddenly rushing the convoy, grabbing food before it can be safely distributed. Israel reviewing the incident, saying it only fires warning shots when faced with a threat.
David, Steve Witkoff, the special envoy, going to Gaza tomorrow to try to get more food in. President Trump calling the situation terrible. He wants Hamas to surrender, but tonight the group's saying it won't lay down its arms. David.
Ian Pennell from the region again tonight for us. Ian, thank you. Meantime, back here in the U.S. and Texas tonight, authorities facing tough questions from state lawmakers about the response to the 4th of July storms that, of course, brought that deadly flooding, taking at least 135 lives, including so many of those girls at Camp Mystic. The county's emergency management coordinator, William Thomas, acknowledging he was sick and asleep as floodwaters were sweeping the region.
I stayed in bed throughout July the 3rd, and I was awakened around 5:30 a.m. on July the 4th by my wife, following a call from the City of Kerrville EMC, Jeremy Hughes, requesting that I mobilize.
Yeah, pull it up there close.
Committee members frustrated, saying a number of top officials were unreachable during those crucial early morning hours when so many were in need and fighting for their lives. When we come back here tonight, medical records now revealing Hulk Hogan's cause of death. And tonight we now learn of Hogan's personal battle for quite some time. Also ahead here, the American fighter jet bursting into flames and crashing. And the alarming images tonight, the attempted abduction of a toddler at a shopping mall. Why authorities want the public to see this and what they're now saying about it in a moment here. Tonight, police say alarming surveillance shows the attempted abduction of a toddler at the Fair Oaks shopping mall in Fairfax County, Virginia. Authorities say the girl had wandered away from her father at the children's play area, a man picking her up right there, walking away. The girl's mother and father chasing him. He let the daughter go. Authorities say they hope the video raises awareness of the dangers when children wander. That suspect is under arrest. Tonight, the U.S. Navy investigating the fiery crash of an F-35 fighter jet in Central California. The jet bursting into flames, going down at Naval Air Station Lemoore. The pilot did safely eject. When we come back here tonight, Hulk Hogan's cause of death has now been revealed tonight, and the battle he'd been facing for some time. To the index tonight, we've learned this evening Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack. Medical records also from Pinellas County revealing that he had quietly been battling leukemia for some time. Tonight, Justin Timberlake revealing he's battling Lyme disease. He said he's been dealing with massive nerve pain. He calls the illness relentlessly debilitating. He shared his condition following his latest tour. Tonight, the longest lightning bolt ever on record. Scientists have now confirmed a single lightning bolt stretching 515 miles across 3 states, Texas to Missouri. It was back in 2017, now confirmed. The mega flash covered the distance in a little more than just 7 seconds. When we come back here tonight, the grandmother boarding her flight, and suddenly the entire plane was cheering. This is quite something. Finally tonight here, one grandmother's surprise. Tonight here, a flight like no other.
Good afternoon, everyone.
American Airlines Flight 4383 about to depart from Memphis to Chicago. The pilot on the intercom.
My name is Justin, and I will be your captain on today's flight.
Suddenly, one passenger recognizing that pilot's voice.
May I get up? Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
The woman asking, "May I get up?" It turns out she is the pilot's grandmother, and she raised him.
My grandparents raised me. I grew up here in the Memphis area. They've supported me. They've done everything they could to help me to get to where I am today.
That grandmother, Carolyn, walking up the aisle, hugging her grandson. The other passengers cheering. This is the first time she had ever been on his flight.
Unfortunately, my grandpa passed away earlier this year, so he never got the opportunity to fly with me. But this amazing crew that I'm flying with here today was able to help me pull it off to where my grandmother got the opportunity to fly to Chicago with me today, and I will be the captain.
Grandma Carolyn wiping away tears. It turns out when Justin found out she was coming to visit him, that she was stopping for a layover in Chicago, he asked if he could swap assignments to make sure he was the pilot for her connecting flight.
I love you. I love you too.
And right here tonight.
Hey, David, good evening.
That pilot, Justin, honoring his grandparents, Carolyn and Freddie, grateful for what they did for him.
I'm really blessed to have grandparents as awesome as my grandparents were. My grandma, I've been showing her the videos and the comments and things like that, and she says it's just amazing how kind people are. We hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
It's why we love America strong. Good night.
Thank you. David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. And now, ABC's World News Tonight has won the Emmy for Best Live News Program for the third year in a row.